Yo, do you have anyone in OG2JK beating Maru or Tsurugi?
I mean, I'm just gonna go with the obvious answer and just go with Maki.
Alright, why do you think Maki beats Maru or Tsurugi?
Oh, I could choose either or?
Well, yeah.
I'll just choose Maru then.
Alright, why do you think Maki beats Maru?
I think that Maru just isn't consistently on par with, like, in the series Maki.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I think that's what's the question. So, like, why do you think?
Why? I just think he just doesn't have any physical feats against Mojo. He usually constitute anything higher than, like, maybe post-fight Meguna with Gojo.
Why would he have to have feats on, like, Yuji to
Mojo
be on
Yuji.
par with Maki? Yeah, why would he have to have feats on Yuji?
Some type of version.
I'm confused. If he has feats on characters that are relative to Maki, excluding Yuji, then why would having feats on Yuji be like the only thing?
Who's relative to Maki and Mojo other than like the obvious picks?
Tsurugi.
Well, we're not talking about Tsurugi, and I don't think Tsurugi is.
Well, I think Maru's above Tsurugi.
Anyway. Well, if you're
like
making it. No, I don't think Tsurugi is parallel or even relative in combat speed or durability to Maki.
Why not?
For one, he just doesn't have the AP for it. He can barely blitz Maru, and we see him have lower durability. We see Maru tank like lower durability, or we see him barely tank attacks that just like don't compare to the attacks that Sukuna was doing, like with his basic dismantles against Yuta.
Like what? What does Maru fail to tank?
What Maru fail to tank?
Yeah, well, you made the claim. I'm asking, what does Maru fail to tank that like wouldn't compare to Sukuna?
I think that Tsurugi has like lower striking AP, or not striking AP. I think he has like lower striking force than I would say like Shinjuku Shodan Sukuna, and that's the weakest version of Sukuna. And Maki was going relative or mid-rel.
Well, I think
combat speed
Tsurugi scaling is already what's in question. So you can't use Tsurugi scale. You can't use like, oh, I don't think Tsurugi has these feats to justify why you don't think Tsurugi would scale to these places. Like, anyways, I can give you an argument as to why I think Tsurugi would scale to Maki. Okay. How would you interpret heavenly restrictions? Like, do you believe that like all fully realized heavenly restriction users that like whose bodies are completely devoid of cursed energy would be like equals in physicals?
No, I don't think so.
So do you think it's like the more you trade, or like the more like the quality of cursed technique you trade, or like amount of cursed energy would be what dictates how strong your heavenly restriction becomes?
That's never specified. It's just that it's specified that Toji is the only person with the low, or just with a no.
Well, yeah, I'm asking how you think it works.
I don't think that they're equivalent. I think that a heavenly restriction just requires you to give something for something back. I think. Do you mean like physical heavenly restriction, like not counting like Mechamaru or whatever, or just heavenly?
Yeah, excluding Mechamaru's.
No, I don't think that they're equal, considering that Maki has a twin, and the fact that she gave it up that's when she was comparable to Toji. I don't think that they all equal the same, unless you're saying like
well, because Maki's body wasn't completely devoid of cursed energy before Mai died. My question was like
that's what I'm arguing. I'm saying that prior to that, before she got her fight with Mio, or not her fight with Mio, before she got her simple domain with Mio.
Before Mai died, or
no, before calling games in Sakurajima. So I don't think that constitutes.
Do you think she got like physically more powerful, or do you think she just got like better perception?
I think that she got physically more powerful and better perception. I don't understand why. I don't understand why she wouldn't.
I don't. I've always just interpreted it as like a perception amp. I don't really understand why like
your body fully would obviously allow you to exert more force, but that's just me being semantic. I think that knowing your body's limits and pushing those limits with perception, or with an increase in perception, would like constitute more force exertion. Like, is that just not obvious? Like, if you know you can weight lift a certain amount, and you know that your bones aren't going to break past a certain amount because you're able to like perceive and conceive this, I don't see why it wouldn't be a heightened.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it can't be one. I'm just saying like, I don't think the series ever fully displays it as like an amplification to like your physical abilities.
Well, do you think that Sakurajima? Yeah, do you think that Sakurajima?
The chapters will load. I want to pull it up, but my Weeb Central's being slow.
Yeah, do you think that Sakurajima? Or do you think that post Mio Sakurajima is comparable to the Maki that we see fight Sukuna? Because I don't see how Maki would be able to get the 2 months worth of training.
Like, do I think they're comparable? Probably, yeah.
I definitely do not think they're comparable. She was getting speed blitzed by Naoya, and Naoya's slower than the version of Sukuna that Maki
There
taught.
we go. What do you mean, like pre Mio training Maki and like Sakurajima?
Yes. Yeah, I think that they're not comparable in the slightest.
Yeah, well, my argument, I think like in terms of physicals they are, but I think the other Maki would edge out in terms of like perception and awareness and stuff.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think that not all heavenly restrictions are equal. I think that they start on equal baseline, and they have levels to it to where they can reach certain states. Like Maki's just the only one comparable to Toji, it's stated. So yes, I think that if you compare Tsurugi's, or if you take it at face value that Tsurugi is identical, that his heavenly restriction is identical to Maki and Toji, then yeah, that would be fact. But with the showcase things we see, it's just not the case.
Yeah. I think we can find like a middle ground here. Do you agree that
I think that's
yeah? Do you agree that like excluding like the freedom amp, that like all heavenly restriction users would be just physically equal when they have like no cursed energy in their bodies?
Sure.
All right.
Well, it's not. No, it's just that. But I agree. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So it's stated and like consistent with how it like fully realized heavenly restrictions are shown that like during the beginning of the Maru fight that Tsurugi would be one of those that has 0 cursed energy in his body.
Yes, I would agree that that's a good middle ground, but I don't think that constitutes him being comparable to Maki and Toji.
Well, yeah.
I think that's
that's like all I would need is him being comparable to that, like to pre-freedom amp Maki.
I don't really think pre-freedom amp Maki is like. I don't really think that's comparable.
Well, yeah, that's not. I'm not done yet. Like, there will still be more to my scale after this.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, so I'm asking, like, do you agree that like Tsurugi during like the early part of the fight with Maki, not Maki, Maru, would be like physically equals with like pre-freedom amp Maki?
Is that with chain scaling? Are you doing like chain scaling with that, or are you just like those are actual feats from that back diffs?
Well, it's just like with how earlier you agreed that like heavenly restriction users whose bodies are completely devoid of cursed energy would be physical equals, right?
I don't agree with that.
Oh, then I guess I might not have fully understood.
No, I'm saying that if the requirement for reaching that certain state is them having 0 cursed energy, then sure, but that's not really an exception. Toji is the only person recorded in history with 0 cursed energy, so it doesn't mean that just because you have the restriction means that you'll just be born with 0 cursed energy. And if we take your logic,
I agree.
You have to trade something via equal, and the fact that Tsurugi is capable of, or not. Let me backtrack on that. The fact that Tsurugi is obviously just not as capable as I think Tsurugi is like crazy take, but I think Tsurugi slams Urame, but I don't think he's comparable to the Maki we see. Like, this is end of series Maki. Like, this is just Maki. You can just compare this to like feats against like true form Sukuna, and I don't think anything constitutes Maru being comparable in the slightest to true form Sukuna. I mean, if your baseline is that the Maru fight between Tsurugi is what constitutes this, due to the fact that supposedly all heavenly restrictions are equal, and that the amount of cursed energy that you expend for the strength would obviously, but I have to push back on that because I don't think they're equal.
Yeah, well, my claim isn't that all heavenly restrictions are equal. My question would be, like, would you agree that all heavenly restrictions that are restrictive enough to the point where the person's body is completely devoid of cursed energy would result in equivalent physical stats, because heavenly restrictions are a trade, or in this case, of course, are a trade for curse energy and access to jujutsu for physical abilities.
Yeah. If that's the wording that you're using, then sure. In this time, like in this frame of like scenario, yeah, I have to agree with that.
Okay, so like if Tsurugi has no cursed energy within his body, completely devoid of cursed energy in his body through heavenly restriction, then he would be like physically equals with like a Zenin Massacre Maki.
Yeah, I'd say they're comparable in like combat speed, sure, and strength, if that's the case. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so then you would agree that like that version of Maki, in terms of raw physicals, would be like exponentially above Yuta, right?
I don't know about exponentially above Yuta.
Well, raw physicals as in like Yuta doesn't get access to cursed energy.
No, I think that Yuta's raw physicals are just way above that.
You think Yuta's base body is relative to like Zenin Massacre Maki?
Yes, I do think that actually.
Why?
Well, we can use this as a thing for like, you know how when he's out of 5-minute mode, oh my bad, you know when he's out of 5-minute mode, that he is like, he's out of cursed energy, he doesn't have any cursed energy to pull from? You know that, right?
That he's like, he doesn't have any cursed energy anymore?
He does not have
when
any
he's out, when like,
because he can't pull from Rika anymore. And the only reason that he uses that is to pull from Rika when he's out of cursed energy. Like we see when he gives up, like we see in the, I guess we could just use the anime and the manga. Like when we see him fighting Ryo and he realizes that he's almost out, he just pops Rika and then he gains the cursed energy back enough to use RCT. So I think that him.
Yeah, but I think he. I don't think. Okay. Yeah, you finish.
Him using the thin icebreaker and then it ending in that moment, while holding down Ryu and going relative with Ryu, who still has cursed energy by the way, and his output is just exponentially higher than Yuta's in that moment. And in general, I think that constitutes Yuta being comparable to Maki, to Zenin Maki Massacre. Sure. I definitely think that's the case.
Well, for one, I think that would like kind of contradict the narrative behind Yuta. Like Yuta directly calls himself like it's stated like several times that not only is Yuta like physically on the weaker side, but he compensates with that physical weakness through like massive amounts of cursed energy. I don't
think that's stated. I think that's stated to where more like he's just not going to be able to reinforce his body completely. Like that's why he floats his entire body with cursed energy. That
is what's stated. Is that he compensates for physical weakness through amounts of cursed energy.
I definitely think statements
well, yeah, but
can be contradicted.
I don't think what you pointed out is necessarily a contradiction to the statement. I'll show it here.
If he's capable of physically holding
Yuta
down
says like I'm actually on the weaker side. He compensates for his lack of power with cursed energy reinforcement. That's what everyone does, but when he does it, it's different because of his amount of cursed energy.
Yes, that is true. That is consistent when he's using reinforcement. But this, like, if he's just saying he's weaker than, like, let's say, Maki. I'm not saying that him and Maki are completely equal. I'm saying that they're relative enough to where Tsurugi just does not have.
Yeah. Well, he says he's on the weaker side, which I think would mean that, like, in terms
the weaker side of Gojo, Yuki, fucking Sukuna, or not Sukuna. Yuji, Maki, Akari, these characters that are just heavy hitters. Yes, I think he would be on the weaker side.
I think
top 8.
I don't necessarily think that means that he's like on the physical weaker side compared to those people. I think that's just like a general.
What is he comparing himself to in general?
General. So because like, yeah, well that's because Yuji states he's like the exact opposite of himself. Right? Yes. That's what Yuji states here. Like you're the exact opposite of me. Unless you think Chapter 1 Yuji, who's like comparable to like Higuruma, who's a grade 1 sorcerer, is on the level of like Maki. No cursed energy Yuji and Higuruma go relative to each other.
Yeah, that's fair, but there's like 2 months of training after that. Or is it
well, yeah, but this is like immediately before. It's like when I say Chapter 1 Yuji, I mean like a Yuji without access to cursed energy. Not like literally like occult club Yuji. But
well, honestly, I think occult club usually just slams through, but we won't talk about that. What I'm trying to say,
regardless, like
with the feats that we see of Yuta holding down a grown ass man with cursed energy remaining, who is like one of the more physically stronger characters we see. I definitely think that Ryu is like comparable to Gojo in striking force. There's definitely an argument for that. Whether it's like mid or high, it's still comparable to Gojo. So I definitely think that holding
also
down
I wanted to circle around to that point. Because for one, I think there's a difference between like Yuta being stated to be low on cursed energy and like Yuta being stated to have 0 cursed energy. Because he activates Rika when they're saying, "Oh, we're finally starting to see the bottom of your cursed energy." Yeah, not that he's like entirely out of it.
He's out of it. Yeah, after the 5 minutes.
Is it stated he's completely out of cursed energy after Rika disappears?
I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that would be the case.
Well, because he gets he gets a shit ton of cursed energy back. So it's like he was very low, and then he summons Rika, and he gets all of that back. So he's operating at full again, and then uses from that full. Yeah, I don't think when Rika disappears, all of the cursed energy he got from Rika would disappear. It's like let's say like Yuta's a cup. Like a cup has water in it.
I get the analogy. What you're saying. You're saying that there would be no reason for the energy that he has remaining from siphoning from Rika would just disappear when Rika disappears. Like I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be the case. Yeah, no, you're good, bro. If you want to let me down, that's fine. We've been debating for like almost 20 minutes.
Nice.
No, it's fine. No, we can continue. It's fine. I just didn't want to leave them hanging.
No, you're fine.
What were you saying? Yeah, so like I don't really see why when Rika disappears, all of the cursed energy he siphoned from Rika would also disappear.
If that was the case, then why wouldn't he just completely overpower Ryu? Which he does, by the way, but I think that's more like physical than it is cursed energy.
When do you mean why wouldn't he, like, in what instance do you mean why wouldn't he just physically overpower him?
Well, let's see, when they're holding each other, I don't see why Ryu wouldn't be able to, like, dislodge himself from
like, towards the very end here?
Towards the very end, yes. I think that Yuta holding down a grown-ass man with the second highest output history would constitute anything other than, like, physical strength. Because I just don't see why him holding down a grown-ass man, despite him calling himself, like, super weak, like, or not super weak.
Yeah, well, because like, the point...
Like, weaker in raw physicals. And that can be contradicted.
Yeah, but...
I mean, it can be contradicted when we see it.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, I don't see any reason why this Yuta right here has no cursed energy in his body.
Well, let's analyze.
That's what's in question currently.
I mean, let's analyze the panels. There's a lot of things that correlate with Yuta using cursed energy. Debris breaks constantly. That's kind of the sign of like using cursed energy. There's no like major debris breakage unless it's like from Ryu, which I think Ryu is using cursed energy in this instant. I think Ryu is using cursed energy to reinforce himself. I don't think that Yuta is using cursed energy.
Also,
the way that I think about it, I don't think
another thing, like, Yuta's hands are able to withstand this granite blast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Yuta's regular body is withstanding a granite blast. Like, I think that's, like, disingenuous.
Disingenuous is a bit stretch. I think it's hard to prove. I don't think it's impossible. I mean, we've seen base characters with less durability than Yuta take things without cursed energy. I mean, we're like very underestimating Yuta's base. Like who? Let's see, Hazanonoki taking wasn't reinforcing himself with cursed energy. He was using reverse curse technique, so he's not using cursed energy to reinforce his body. Gets kicked by what's his name? Takaba. Turns around, get back up. I mean, you can't reinforce your body and you can't reinforce your body and create positive.
Well, yeah, I think we're conflating like not Hazanoki, like Takaba's kicks that like you can't scale. I don't think Takaba really consistently scales anywhere to like a granite blast.
I definitely think in destructive power, sure. You can compare that granite blast currently against Yuta, against the kick against Hazanonoki. I mean, you can see the structural damage,
but
it's not impossible.
But like it's another thing where like we see prior Yuta's like cursed energy reinforced hands. He's like losing fingers to granite blasts. And like, yeah, these granite blasts are more than likely lowered at like lower output. Yeah. Like this one is probably lower output than that. But I don't really think it'd be exponentially lower output.
I thought the whole point of that Ryu's technique was that he can always fire it at high output. Like it never really
yeah, he can always fire it at high output, but after domain expansion he does say that like the only reason Uro survived like the granite blast was that he like took her out of the fight with was because his output was lowered through domain expansion. So it was like it was lowered to a degree, but I don't think it's like exponentially lower.
We know that damage, that like physical damage to your body lowers your output in total, not like severely, but it lowers your output in general. Would you say that Yuta has a lower output than he does physical raw stats in this moment? I definitely think that
lower
for like
because I think output and reinforcement correlate to each other. So
yeah, because your human body has to be able to sustain your output, or not output. Do you think that his cursed energy reinforcement like the output that he's using to reinforce his body is lower than his actual base ability in this moment? He's severely injured. I don't see why.
Like who? Yuta or Ryu's?
Yuta. I don't know why Ryu would like have a lower output. His whole thing is like having a high output.
Oh well, I mean, we just went over how like domain lowers his output, so I was confused on like who exactly you were referring to.
It doesn't lower output.
He states that using
energy. That's why people don't use it because it takes up so much.
Ryu tells us that domain lowered his output. I'm gonna side with Ryu.
No, I think the narrator says
Yuta tells Ryu, like, he talks about Uro, like, she complained when I said this. And Ryu's like, she's still alive, ? My blasts must have been weaker after the domain expansion. Implying that he thinks his normal blasts would have killed her, but his post-domain blasts didn't kill her, so they must have been weakened.
I do think that his normal blast would have killed her if they hit. I don't think there's a single one that hits her. I think that Uro has terrible durability.
You don't think Ryu ever hit Uro?
I think once, maybe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he hits her like point blank range after the three-way domain clash.
Oh yeah, well obviously that's
like unguarded.
I mean she suffers the
that's what Ryu's talking about. That in this, it's right here. In this situation where she gets hit in the face by a granite blast, if his output had been at its max, or if his output had been like from 30 seconds ago, prior to him burning a shit ton of cursed energy through domain expansion, she would have died. That's what he knows.
I think that's the case. Yeah, but
so Ryu's output does lower from domain.
Yeah, but I'm asking in this moment, do you think that Yuta's raw durability would be better than just like reinforcement here because of the severe damage? You have to constitute that damage to your physical body would lower your ability to output more damage, obviously, and that would be with cursed energy because may confirm.
Well, yeah,
and your physical body are in tandem, which is why you need to train both.
Well, yeah, I do think that like Yuta's durability in this moment using cursed energy reinforcement would be higher than his durability without cursed energy reinforcement, because I think he would still keep his base physical stats and just add upon them through cursed energy reinforcement.
Well, that's what I'm arguing. Do you think that it's reasonable to assume that without cursed energy he would still be able to take a regular, like a lowered output, like granite blast? That's what I'm asking.
No, I not really.
No, I don't. Can you tell me
because a post domain Ryu is still stated to have output that is slightly above a fully charged love beam. So I think saying that like Yuta without cursed energy is face tanking his own love beam, I think that's disingenuous. In the moment before they physical, I don't talk about the love beam. Like they both have cursed energy in that moment. That's prior to demanifesting. Well, yeah, okay. Do you remember why I brought up the love beam?
I know you brought up the love beam because you're comparing output.
Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah. I am. Ryu's output at when the Granite Blast that Yuta tanked should be comparable, if not above, that of a Love Beam. Because it's stated that Yuta's Love Beam is slightly weaker than Ishigori's Granite Blasts.
Yeah, that's why he has to charge it out. I'm talking about like when they physically clash. That's my whole point. I'm talking about when they physically clash and he holds them down for the loop of the beam from the sky.
Yeah, why? Hold on. There's between the Love Beam clash right here. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 pages. So why do you think over the course of these 6 pages, this Ryu Granite Blast would be significantly weaker than this Ryu Granite Blast?
I never said significantly weaker. I said that weak enough to where base Yuta's durability would be able to tank it without curse energy.
Well, okay, so do you think that base Yuta is, like, surviving or, like, face tanking his own Love Beams?
No. I'm saying that in this moment, the one that we see is not significantly weaker. I'm saying that it's weak enough for base Yuta to be able to tank it physically without curse energy, which is my point.
Then you think it would have to be significantly weaker?
Significantly weaker doesn't constitute being able to tank it. I mean, I can sit there and take a shin kick.
Oh, okay, hold on. If you don't think Yuta is surviving a Love Beam without cursed energy, but you do think he survived this Granite Blast, then you do think that it's significantly weaker than the Love Beam. Unless you think he's like surviving with like 1% HP.
Yeah, I would consider him surviving with enough HP to like physically retaliate. Yes.
But hold on, but I don't think that's the case either, because Yuta's arms are shown to be relatively uninjured following this. They're like charred a bit, but they're still functioning. Like the next time we see it, it's like mostly okay. Like after this, so he's not tanking this Granite Blast and it's reverting him to like 1% of his HP. His durability is like mostly comparable to it.
I'm not just like make my original point like way more convincing. I think you might be like misinterpreting what I'm trying to say.
My argument is I don't think there's any reason to believe Yuta has no cursed energy in this moment. That's my argument.
I definitely think that there is, and that's why I'm telling you that you're
like a regular person can like take punches from Ryu.
I'm not saying a regular person. I'm saying that
hold on. He thinks Yuta's base physical body is comparable to that of Zen and Massacre Maki.
He's a human. He doesn't have like a superhuman body outside.
I think you're very wrong.
Okay, regardless. Hold on. I think we're getting very out of focus. So let's go back to like the fucking meat and potatoes of the argument. I'll just ask. So why? Just to reiterate, why do you think Yuta has no cursed energy in this moment?
I think that his base physicals. I'm not saying he has no cursed energy. I think that his base physicals would constitute the reasoning to where he would use no cursed energy, because he's heavily lowered on output. So it would make no sense where his base physicals that can meet this expectation of surviving this version of the Granite Blast would be lower than him using cursed energy reinforcement.
Wait, so why is base physicals
hold on. Okay, Odyssey, hold on. Isn't what's in question Yuta's base physicals? I think positing that Yuta in this scenario isn't using cursed energy because he has lowered output and knows that his base physicals are enough to survive this attack. That already that's circular. It presupposes his base physicals are already this high.
Well, no, I'm just saying that they're high in this moment. I'm not saying that in general. You got to remember that cursed energy reinforcement.
That's what's in question, though.
It's not a full box. It's a
hold on. What's in question is Yuta's base physicals. You can't presuppose Yuta has high base physicals in your argument on him having high base physicals.
I'm saying that damage permeates through reinforcement, anyways. Like your reinforcement isn't just going to take the complete brunt of the damage. So in this moment, despite being exhaustively like weakened from his current self, I think that this constitutes that he would be able to take it with his raw physical durability, and I don't think that that's outlandish to say, considering that we see people with like we see grown ass men without fucking roommates fucking ass 100. Like, I don't think that it's absurd to like cost like I don't think it's absurd to come to this conclusion that yes, Yuta would be able to take a weaker Granite Blast and judge that his base physicals would be enough. I think that constitutes that in this moment he may have cursed energy, but it would be not heavily, but it would be like reasonable for Yuta to assume that he can take this physically without curse energy. I don't think that's the
hold on. I think that's I think that is a conclusion that it is possible to come to. But I think this whole argument, the reason why we got onto this argument was because you said that the feats that he displays in the Ryu fight contradict the statements from the Yuji fight. Because I brought up the statements from the Yuji fight of him saying he's on the weaker side, and him saying that he compensates for his lack of physical ability with cursed energy reinforcement. And you then brought up him having...
This can be contradicted, dude. Like, him saying that he's on the weaker side is just Yuta constantly
but hold on.
Use narrative,
he
says he's weaker than Hikaru. Like, I understand what you're saying, and this is just like...
Yeah, hold on, real quick. My point is that I think you're purposefully taking an interpretation that contradicts this statement, as opposed to interpretations that don't contradict this statement. I think when you're analyzing narrative, and there's two interpretations that are given to you, one that contradicts narrative and one that doesn't contradict narrative, I think you should take the interpretation that doesn't contradict the narrative.
How does this... Okay, isn't that kind of just like... Not shifting the goalpost, but isn't that kind of just like presenting me with just like the option of not presuming, but like proposing my own interpretation of this, and then saying, "Oh no, you can't do that. You got to go with this one because it doesn't contradict anything that we talked about."
No, I'm saying I think my interpretation is more likely because it's consistent with the narrative, as your interpretation, which would be less likely because it's inconsistent with the narrative.
I don't think that it's inconsistent with what we fucking see, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you were to take this as concrete,
it's inconsistent with the statements shown in the series. I think statements exist for when is it, other than this instance, which is what's in question, when is it contradicted that Yuta has a naturally weak physical body?
When is it contradicted? I guess that when he's fucking stabbing, let's see, when you're using reverse curse technique, you can't fucking reinforce your body because you're multiplying curse energy against itself. Why would you be able to like spread it around your body while you're in the process of multiplying it? Sure. He stabs Yuji in the heart. Yuji is one of the most durable characters in the series. Uses a fucking broken sword, a blunt object, to stab him in the heart. Why would that not constitute him being...
Also, hold on. I don't think it's impossible to amplify your physical body while using reverse curse technique. Sukuna goes like comparing. Sukuna's like
for Yuta to be able to do so.
Sukuna uses a curse technique while using reverse curse technique.
That's not an anti-claim.
Sukuna uses
Sukuna being Sukuna. That's not an anti-claim.
Your claim was that. So hold on. When is it ever stated that it's impossible to use cursed energy while using reverse curse technique?
I said that it's assumed to be impossible. Sure. Like I can backtrack on it.
Okay. No, yeah, so what statements do you have that lead you to the conclusion that you can't do this thing?
I definitely think that if you're not Gojo or fucking Sukuna, it's very hard.
Also, Yuji uses fucking convergence while using reverse curse technique. Yuji explodes his blood while he's on the ground healing his body. Yuji uses blood manipulation while also using reverse curse technique.
That's not the same thing as reinforcement. That's just like, if that was the case, then sorcerers wouldn't be able to fucking implement. Like Gojo wouldn't be able to do red if what you're saying is the truth. Like if that's what you're using as the anti-claim, then Gojo wouldn't be able to use red. Obviously, you can use positive curse, or else you can use positive energy in your curse technique. That's what curse technique reversal is. I don't think that.
Well, yeah, but do you think Yuji, when he used convergence, was using curse technique reversal there?
No, I just think that he wasn't using cursed energy to reinforce your body.
What?
Hold on. What would be like the valuable distinction between like cursed energy reinforcement and using a curse technique in this scenario? What makes it possible to use a curse technique and reverse curse technique?
I just think that I just don't think that Yuji was kind of me presupposing. So I will say that. I think I can positively come to the conclusion that Yuji won't be able to use all three at the same compared to like Gojo, Sukuna, fucking maybe Yuta.
That doesn't answer my question. Well, my question was, what is the value in this scenario? Because you agree that it's possible to use a curse technique and a reverse curse technique at the same time. So I'm asking, in this situation, what would the valuable distinction between using a curse technique and using cursed energy reinforcement. B, that allows one to be used simultaneously with reverse curse technique, but disallows the other to be used simultaneously.
Well, we can use Megumi's statement as an example. Since we can use statements. Megumi says that if you know how to do something like reverse curse technique, even if you understand it, doesn't mean you'll be able to replicate it. So then we can go to examples that we see with characters fucking dropping their curse technique to heal. Hazanonoki doesn't explode because he's obviously healing. If he was able to, he could just throw his arm off and heal mid-curse technique, which he's capable of doing because we see him do that. But then later he gets fucking, I don't know, can't explain that. That's a bad example. But there's nothing...
Yeah, hold on. For one, the Megumi statement is in reference to, like, ability to use reverse curse technique as a whole. Understanding... Yeah, so I don't think that would be relevant at all, because both Yuji and Yuta know reverse curse technique. They can both use reverse curse technique, they can both make positive energy. So I don't think that statement's, like, consistent at all. And two, the Hazanoki point you just brought up has nothing to do with cursed energy reinforcement.
Yeah, no, that's my fault.
Well, yeah. It has nothing to do with cursed energy reinforcement, it has to do with cursed techniques, which you already conceded it's possible to do both at the same time, which just implies that Hazanoki's not good enough at, like, cursed energy manipulation to use his curse technique and curse technique reverse curse technique at the same time. So I still don't think anything. I don't think anything you've given that constitutes a valuable distinction.
Okay, so then let's use this. You want to use Choso? I think we can use the Choso example.
What would the Choso example be?
Let's see. Well, when we see Choso reinforcing himself with curse energy, he's able to take 2 punches. Obviously, his output isn't weakened because he hasn't been getting hit that much. You know how many dies is with his fucking Fuga. So we see him take the exact 2 punches from Sukuna at the same time, and then immediately after, he gets impaled when he's using reverse curse technique to heal. When he's using reinforcement, he's able to take those punches. I don't see why him using
what
reinforcement.
instance are you referring? Are you referring to when he gets
impaled, like fight goes?
Yeah, from what I remember, he doesn't tank. Like, I actually want to pull this up because I don't actually remember him tanking punches.
No.
In the Black Flash.
Hold on. No, I might genuinely just be LARP. Hold on, I might genuinely just be LARPing here, but from what I remember, from when he tank. Wait, are you not? Hold on, are you not talking about, like, the two, like, the post, like, immediately after he loses Kamutoke, when Choso fires off a piercing blood, and he's like, "You want a race, boy?" And then perception. Yeah, that's like a solid 30 chapters before he gets hit by Black Flash.
I definitely think that those are the.
This is also like it's
15 chapters.
Oh, this is. Yeah, but yeah, he doesn't get punched here. I wasn't LARPing. I was correct. He doesn't get punched here when he gets impaled. He's and also. Yeah, but that was when he used blood armor for that. He used, like, flowing red scale to tank the blood. He gets exponentially better durability with flowing red scale. He goes from, like, being a victim to 3 Yuji punches without flowing red scale, and then he munches on one for breakfast when he's using flowing red scale. Like, I think there's a very big difference in durability there.
So if you take this into account, when Choso gets, like, incapacitated by, like, a regular Sukuna hit, like when he gets impaled, like when he gets hit by a Black Flash, he's able to not get immediately incapacitated by a Black Flash.
Yeah, he uses blood armor here. Yeah,
blood armor. Yeah, significant durability amp.
Yeah.
Cursed energy reinforcement. I think the whole point of using cursed energy reinforcement is supplementing the gap in the lack of defensive abilities.
No, well, I think he's. Hold on. Do you not think he's using cursed energy reinforcement and blood armor at the same time here?
Why would he?
Why would he? Because I don't.
No.
Well, hold on. Well, if you.
Because I was checking my battery. Why would that? So if he was able to use both RCT and cursed energy reinforcement at the same time, if his blood armor is so much stronger than cursed energy reinforcement, why would he not just use cursed energy reinforcement?
Because
hold on. For one, why was he using reverse curse technique here? He had no injuries to heal from. Unless you think Choso got slammed against a wall and was like, man, I really gotta heal from the debris in my back.
Yes, I think that getting punched from Sukuna into a wall would require...
He got thrown, he didn't get punched.
Yeah, no, yes, what? Mass moves mass, bro. I think Sukuna throwing Choso into a wall would like break his fucking spine if he wasn't like. If
it's shown not to happen.
He's literally bleeding out of every single orifice, bro.
Here? No, he's not.
What are you talking
He's
about?
not bleeding. What are you... Here? He's not bleeding out of every orifice.
Oh, that's his fucking hair. Oops, my bad.
Yeah, that's his hair and that's his clothes.
Yeah, I think... Well, still,
he eats this... He eats getting tossed pretty, like, relatively fine. Yes, he doesn't show any real injury from this. He's not worried about healing from this. He's more worried about the fucking black flash that's coming at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so why was he using RCT in this instance? Hold on one second, let me turn my headphones off.
Very good, bro.
What would he be like RCTing off?
Alright, I'm back. So yeah, why was he using RCT in this instance?
I don't think he knew that
why
the black
was
flash
he,
was coming.
why was Choso using RCT here?
I don't think that he would know that the black flash is coming in that moment. I don't think so. That's you can't prove that he knows the black flash is coming in that second. He's gonna get punched by the giant 7'1" monster that weighs 400 pounds. Yes, he's gonna get punched. Why would he not?
Yeah, he doesn't need to know it's a black flash. That's fine. That doesn't answer my question of why is he using RCT in this instance.
Well, let's see. Why would he be? Do you want like a logical conclusion, or do you just want like hardcore proof? Like, oh yeah, we see this.
I want the reason why you believe he's using RCT.
Well, let's see. I don't think that him. Let's see that he's previously able to at least not get absolutely blitzed and one shot by a single punch of Sukuna. I don't think that him, whether he knows it's coming or not, I think that if he doesn't know that it's coming, he would use RCT to minimize the current damage that's about to impact him. If it wasn't a black flash, I assume that he would use blood armor and reinforcement to actually just tank it. Or not tank it, but just like survive it to where he doesn't end up like that.
Yeah, I don't think he was using RCT here. I think he was oh shit, I'm about to get punched in the gut. Let me use blood armor to survive this attack. And then that attack just so happened to be a black flash. So now he's like fucking dying.
We don't see him use blood armor. Like there's a very
This is blood armor.
Blood armor.
This is blood armor, the thing that's hugging his... He used blood armor to decrease damage. This is blood armor.
Fuck, that was blood armor. Dude, I thought it was guts. What the fuck?
No, this is blood armor.
It is.
Oh, fuck. Wait, that's blood armor? Oh, fuck me.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
You can say
Put me down. No, I
Barbara.
can see. That's my fault.